Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today, I would like to talk about trinkets, little spiritual trinkets. And these can come in the form of many different things. I know you know what I'm talking about. So, this, for example, is like from an olive tree that are pruned around Bethlehem, and they're carved into these little crosses, and you can hold them while you meditate, or you can keep them around or whatnot. The trinkets have different things. I have this isn't so much a trinket, but it can be used as a trinket, like a little tongue drum, um, crystals. There are many different kinds of trinkets. There are little artifacts, just little spiritual trinkets. And now with every trinket comes, their properties, what they do, what they help you with, um, you know, all of the abilities that they give you, or they help keep you calm or relieve stress, or, you know, everything. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Every crystal has different properties. Every little kind of trinket has its own different properties. Now, the most important thing that we need to remember when we have trinkets around is that we give the trinkets their power. This this trinket does not have any power that I do not give it. And whether you're giving it consciously or subconsciously, all of the spiritual trinkets are only have power because you give it power, because you are the divine. So without you, it doesn't have any power. And it is the same thing as like the observer. Like, you've heard the saying, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? And no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? The answer is no, it doesn't make a sound. Because in order for it to be a sound, it has to have an observer for it. And so in order for these trinkets to have power, an observer has to be giving it its power. And you give it its energy, and you give it its power by your belief in whatever it does. Now, for example, when I bought this, I actually bought this very recently, the other day, and the idea behind it was that I would hold it during meditation, and it would help me in connecting and remembering the truth. That we are all connected, and it's just like really nice and smooth and nice for me to hold. So I am using it as a reminder, not something that is dependent upon this trinket. Because I've heard people say, like, oh, I carry this stone with me, it's really good for my aura, and when I don't have it with me, my aura is all out of sorts. That is only coming from your belief in that. And we have to be careful with our beliefs because they create our reality. So I do not doubt that that person feels out of whack. Their aura feels out of whack when they are not carrying that specific crystal. I believe that. For sure, I believe that they believe that that crystal has power over their aura. However, that is a very dangerous and slippery slope, because when you forget that only you give things power, and that you are the one who actually holds the power, and you give power over to a physical object, you are then surrendering some of your power. You are then surrendering it and giving control to something else. And that leaves us open for suffrage, because say I got so used to holding this that I was unable to meditate without this. So what happens when this disappears? What happens when I move and shit gets lost when you move and I no longer have it? What happens when my dog gets a hold of this because he's been trying and he chews this to a little pulp? Those are things that can happen to physical things. So then, if that were to happen and I only believed that I needed this to meditate, how long would it take me to get back to a decent meditation practice without this? And what would suffer in the meantime because I gave my control, my power to saying that I needed this to meditate? The idea behind spirituality, one of the ideas is that number one, that power comes from within, but number two, spirituality doesn't need anything else to be practiced. It only needs this up here and this in here. You can't see me, I'm pointing to my heart. Those are the only things that you need. Okay, so when it is fine to, I have a bunch of crystals, you obviously saw my drum, I love to beat on it, it's so much fun, and I love like the vibration that comes out of it, and I love this little cross, like I love these things, I think that they're fun. However, I always keep in mind that these are only reminders of power that lie within. So, and I actually don't even become concerned about what crystals do. When I pick out a crystal, I don't go, well, number one, I usually don't even go with the intent of buying a crystal. And number two, I don't go with the intent of like, I've been really stressed out lately. Like, let me find a crystal that helps with stress. I don't do that. If I got a crystal, it's usually by surprise, and then it's usually something that speaks to me. I don't even look at the descriptions or the names. I have a bunch of crystals that call me a bad spiritual person, but like I don't even know what kind of crystals they are. I just like them. I like their vibe. I like their energy. They spoke to me, so I'm like, okay, you're coming home with me. I don't give them too much power. How, they do hold energy and they do hold power in themselves, but in order for it to take effect on you, you at some level have to give them their power. Therefore, without you, the observer, these things, I don't want to say they're meaningless because they are spiritual and part of nature and nothing is really meaningless, but I'm just saying that without the power you give them, they hold no power over you. And like, for example, I don't really believe if someone were to slip a crystal into your pocket throughout the day and you had no idea, I'm not really sure that you would feel any effects. Now, if you were to pick up that crystal and be like, oh, this helps me to maintain energy during the day, and then you put it in your pocket, you have that belief, therefore in your subconscious mind, you know that you have that crystal and that's what it's meant to do, and then you feel like, oh, I had more energy throughout the day, it must be my crystal. It's actually the power that you're giving that crystal. It's the energy that you're giving it through attention, through looking at it, through holding it, through putting it in your pocket, through bringing your hand to your pocket throughout the day and feeling that crystal in your pocket. That is how you give it your power. So what we need to remember is when we go on this spiritual journey is that we need nothing to practice this spiritual journey. We do not need crystals, we do not need drums, we do not need other people, we do not need shamans. The only thing we need to do is to go within. And like I said before, and like it's obvious, like it is okay to have these things. They are fun and, they can help you when you're giving it the power. They can help you and it's okay to have those things. What is not okay is to become so dependent on them that you forget that they are a reminder of the power that you have within, of the light that is within your soul. of the divinity within your soul, of the oneness. Like, I love this because it is wood and it's from a tree that comes from nature, from a very spiritual place. And I love it, because it is my reminder of our connectedness to everything and to nature, and that we are nature. So, but if I were to lose this today, it would have no effect on my meditation, even though that is how I'm using it, because it is only a reminder of things. It is not, my meditation does not depend on this. And it's the same thing with lucky things. A lot of athletes can be superstitious and they have lucky socks or a lucky hat or a lucky t-shirt. And what they don't realize, they may think that that is lucky, but it is really just a reminder of the talent within them or the talent within the team. And if they were to lose those socks or that t-shirt, or somehow they would be unable to have it, the only reason why it might prove to be unlucky or they might lose the game is because of their attention to that, because of their belief in that. I don't have my lucky socks today. Oh, let's see how this goes. This might not turn out well. Then they lose the game. Then it's reinforced. Oh, I didn't have my lucky socks on today and we lost the game. However, if they were to you can have your lucky socks, you can have lucky things, but keep in mind that that is a reminder of the talent within them. And, it might be a little bit of a comfort to have those things. However, without them, you are just fine because the power is coming from within. And as long as you have your within, then you're okay. Nothing else can hold that power. So when you have something lucky and you lose it, remind yourself that you were the one that gave it its power in the first place, and you didn't go anywhere, so your power didn't go anywhere. So therefore, yes, it stinks, I don't have my lucky thing, but I can still carry on and I can still win the game because that talent always resided within me. My power always resided within me. My ability to meditate every day always resided within me, and I still have that. Therefore, I can still meditate even if I were to lose my nice little meditation trinket. And the other thing that I want to just touch on briefly is I struggle with physical things sometimes, and especially spiritual trinkets. And the reason why is, okay, so, a little while ago I heard about Palo Santo. I'm like, oh, this is great. I got some, authentic Palo Santo. Then I heard about that because of the spike in popularity in Palo Santo, all of the Palo Santo trees were now endangered because they were being harvested at such a rate that they were not able to replenish because of the demand, because of the popularity of it. And I just can't help but think, even this, what about these olive trees that they came from? What I really liked about it is that they said, and I could be wrong, but that this was pruned and not harvested, which I think maybe they are just taking branches from the tree and the tree is still alive and allowed to grow. Or even crystals. So if you've ever seen nature shows where they go into caves and underground, you will notice that, I think they call them up, but they're basically crystals. Crystals grow underground. And I think two things. Number one, I think that if nature were to grow these under the earth, within the earth, maybe there's a reason for that, and maybe that is where they are best meant to be, because that it helps to ground us and it helps to balance the energy of the earth, you know, because these things come from nature. Therefore, they have a very specific place in nature, because everything in nature has a very specific place in it. And what is the popularity of crystals doing to that? Are we harvesting them from the ground? Are they being grown for it? Or, you know, how exactly does it work? Are we depleting, you know, the supply of crystals in the earth that is helping with whatever they do in nature, the electromagnetic field? I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing. Like, I'm not a scientist. I don't know what crystals do in the earth. But I think that that's something that we need to be mindful of when we're going out and we're buying all these crystals. Oh, I gotta wear these crystals. They gotta be all over my house. I need big ones. I need this. Like, let's remember where they're coming from. They are harvested from the earth, and that is another reason that I don't go too crazy with spiritual trinkets. I actually have been really trying to lessen my material things in general, with still, like, you know, being able to function in life. But I'm just trying to keep in mind of not being wasteful, not, you know, over harvesting things. Like, I do think it's okay to take things from the earth, you know, the fruit of the earth. You know, the earth is here to nourish us and to help us. However, it is all about that balance of just not taking too much from the earth, taking what we need, you know, taking like what can help us a little bit, but not overdoing it. We don't need to be harvesting all of the crystals. I mean, I think that'd be impossible, but we don't need to be harvesting all of the crystals we can just to surround ourselves with it, just to be giving it power that we had within us all along. You don't need those crystals to amplify it. You know, those crystals are there just as a reminder, as, you know, you see that, oh, my Himalayan salt lamp. Oh, let's go the other way. Is cleansing the air and releasing positive ions. You have the ability to cleanse the air. Did you know that? You have the ability to cleanse a building. Did you know that? You can cleanse your house. You can attach a grounding cord to the center of your room and to have it clear and drain all of the energy. You have the ability to open your windows and let the fresh air in. You don't necessarily need all these little things, all these little trinkets to do that. You have the power to do that. And I think that that is so uplifting and it is so empowering, because now let's release the fear of, what if I lose this? What if I lose the crystal I keep in my pocket every day? What if the big crystal that I put on my desk that is 3 feet high, I don't have one of those, but is 3 feet high, what if that were to fall over and shatter into a million pieces? How would I feel? At that time, we bring in, and I don't really talk about this, but I do like the principles of Stoicism. And I want to end with this. One of the main things about Stoicism is that if something has ever happened to something before, it should not surprise you or upset you. For example, this is something little. Has anything little ever been lost before? Yes. So if I ever lose this, do not be upset, because things get lost. If you were to break a glass, has glass in the history of glasses ever broke? Yes. So don't be upset if a glass breaks, because glasses break. Trinkets get lost. Things get stolen. Things get lost. Things break. So it is not there for us to upset us or to be upset about it. You know, it is just, things happen. Glass breaks. Things get lost. And so with the combination of that little Stoic principle and knowing that you were the one who gave things power all along and nothing took your power, all of your power resides within you, move forward in that way. Move forward with your trinkets in that way. Say, these are beautiful. They are a reminder. I absolutely love them. But anything good in my life that they brought in, I actually brought in because I am the one who gave them the power. And they just illuminated the energy within them from my power. So I want to end it there. I want to thank you so, so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. My name is Anne, and I hope to see you tomorrow.